Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my HYROX experience as a first timer. I will be sharing where I struggled a bit and what went well with my first HYROX. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So HYROX is just one of those events where it's all about pacing yourself, it's all about the transitions, and it's all about mental focus. So those are the top 3 things that you really need to focus on when you walk into a HYROX race. I found that if you're not really focused throughout the race, you can cost yourself a lot of time by incurring a lot of penalties. And I saw a lot of people incurring a lot of penalties just purely because they were switched off at critical moments of the race. But after finishing my first HYROX, I feel like now I can fine tune and take my experiences from the first one into the next one. And that's what I'm super grateful for doing the first HYROX. So let's jump into what I did well. Well, where I thought I did well. My total run time was 48 minutes, 37 seconds. And I thought that was pretty quick, you know, as a newish runner again, you know, I haven't ran in a very long time, which shows that I can hit a solid pace if I put my mind to it. Like I said in the beginning of this video, pacing is one of the critical things when you're doing a HYROX race. So I felt like my pacing was probably a little bit off. I felt like I was a little bit too quick. So I kind of just eased off the pace a little bit. And when I looked at my overall pace throughout the race, it was about 6 minutes and 4 seconds per kilometer in total. Well, that was the average pace, you know, looking at the time and just calculating it down. I still really feel like it was a great pace. I don't usually run that fast, but I would also attribute it to the fact that it was a flat surface that we're running on, and yeah, naturally you'll run a little bit faster because it's a controlled environment. My second strongest station was the sled push, which is very surprising because over simulations, that was one of my hardest stations to get through, just purely because my last simulation, I struggled a lot with the sled push because of the carpet that we're on. That carpet or mat, whatever you want to call it, just kept gripping, and with a lot of like social media noise telling you that that carpet is rigged and whatever, you kind of feel like you're gonna have the worst sled push. But yeah, it proved to be very different on my end, and I was very comfortable with the sled push. And yeah, it just led me to really getting one of my best times at HYROX. The sled pull was my third strongest station. I've never really had an issue with the sled pull. I just felt like this time around, it felt a little extra smooth for some odd reason. But I feel like it's also because I'm very comfortable with it, and I feel like my upper body is generally stronger than my lower body. So yeah, the time on my sled pull was 6:11. It sounds like a lot, but trust me, I know myself. Also, during the sled push, I slipped over the rope because I had poor rope management. So yeah, rope management is everything. Just make sure that it's not under your feet so that you slip. So with burpee broad jumps, I did much better than I expected, you know. I think because I was panicking so much about it, I kind of channeled my inner something, you know, and I really pushed through at burpee broad jumps. My time there was a solid 7, but I'm super glad that it was one of my strongest stations on the day. Again, I just feel like because I was stressing so much about it, it ended up being the station where I really worked to kind of better my abilities with it, if that makes sense. Yeah. So where I feel I could improve is definitely the ski erg machine. I felt like I was a little bit too casual with it coming in, because that's the first station, if I'm not mistaken. That's the first station you go through. I just generally feel like I was a little bit too casual, a little bit too relaxed with it. But it's good because now I have like working data to work from, especially for the next HYROX race that I'm going to enter. I don't know when, but yeah, I'm definitely doing another HYROX. It was my worst station just purely because of where I was placed in the rankings. Not necessarily because I did bad in, but I also feel like I was relaxed, as I'm saying, you know, just purely because I didn't want to overexert myself as it being the first station. But nonetheless, I feel like next time I can give it a little bit more vuma, more strength, and see how I feel afterwards. Yeah. So Farmer's Carry was a pretty solid station as well, but I feel like I lost time because I was just moving a little bit too slow. My grip strength was there. I only put down the kettlebells once. I'm super proud of myself. It's also one of those stations where I feel like I really put in a lot of effort in to make sure that I really perform better than expected on it, you know. I worked on my grip strength, upper body strength to make sure that I can hold on to those things, you know. So when I started off with gym earlier this year, I couldn't do pull-ups. My grip strength wasn't there, my upper body strength wasn't there, but through strength training, I was able to pick up and get there, you know. So it just shows that when you train for certain things, things do come together, even if you're not doing the Farmer's Carry as a training as part of your training regimen, if I can put it like that. So by the time we reached sandbag lunges, my soul, my legs were beat. They were beat solid. But I pushed through, you know. Even though my legs were hammered, I really pushed through. I'm super glad that I had that mental strength to tell myself that, listen, you must push. Things will come together right at the end. And to be honest, like, I lost time there, sure, cool, but I managed to get out of that station. I think one thing that I can definitely work on for the next race is the fact that my endurance needs to be upped a little bit more. My leg strength needs to be worked on, you know, which is great. Like, again, it's learnings that I have now that I didn't have before. So yeah, sandbag lunges, I'm on to you next time. So wall balls is one of the stations where I feel like I need the biggest improvement. I need to make the biggest improvement. Let me make that clear. I need to make my biggest improvement is there by the wall balls. Whew. I struggled there. It took me about 12 minutes to get out of that station. Just purely because, you know, that middle thing that sits at the top, I was just missing it. I was just missing it with the ball. Either I was hitting the women's one first as the ball was going up, or I would just completely miss it and would just fall right down. And it's so disheartening hearing that lady say, no rep, no rep, no rep, rep. Yes, rep is definitely what you want to hear because it means you're taking, you're moving, you're getting there. But I just struggled. But what I told myself again at the station is I needed to break it down. I needed to break it down into manageable sets so that I can complete it. So what I ended up doing is I started doing it at a 5s. After 5s, it was 10s. And yeah, I just maintained 10s right up until I completed. Even though it was a no rep, I tried to push myself to reach that 10 in that rep so that when I take a break, it's a sufficient break, you know? So yeah, I'm glad that I was able to break it down, even though it was one of my toughest stations. And yeah, moving forward, I know for a fact that that's something that I need to work on. So yeah, my legs, my sandbag lunges, wall balls, top 2 that I need to work on. And yeah, after that, I'll be happy, I think. And my running. So 3 things that I really need to work on. So yes, that's my honest breakdown of how my HYROX went. There's a lot of room for improvement for the next one. some really strong moments and some really tough ones. And there's a lot that I can sharpen for the next HYROX. But that's what I love about HYROX, you know, after you do it once, you feel the need to go back and to better your time. And you really can tell exactly where you can work on to better your time for the next one, you know. You can separate everything and really just dissect and analyze and see, okay, I sucked here because of A, B, C, and D. I sucked here because of A, B, C, and D. So for myself, I know for a fact that when I look back, I really struggled a lot with the last 2 stations. And no, the last 3 stations actually. I feel like I could have improved my time with the farmer's carry, the lunges, the sandbag lunges, and the wall balls. So if I really work on my leg strength, my grip strength, those are the things where I really feel like, and my running, those are the things that I really feel like I can improve on, so that when I do HYROX again, I can better my time. So my time with this HYROX was 1 hour, 47 minutes. When I look at it, it feels like it's a long time, you know, it feels like it's a long time, you know. I'm 40 years old, I'm turning 41 next week. I look at my time and I'm just like, sheesh, it's a lifetime to be out there, you know. But when I look at other factors, like the people that I follow on social media that do HYROX, generally elite people, it's not normal people that are doing HYROX. It's people that exercise all day, all week, all month. So when I remove all of those factors, I'm pretty chuffed with my time and super keen to better it next time. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. This was my HYROX breakdown. I really enjoyed the sport. I enjoy the sport, you know, it's really getting me into shape personally. That's why I really started training for HYROX. I wanted to get into shape. I'm 40, I was getting a little bit overweight. It was a concerning thing for myself. And I'm glad I'm here, you know, I'm glad I'm doing all these things. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate each and every one of you for getting this far in the video, and it's pretty far. And I'm just rambling on and on and on. This was my first HYROX and I'm super stoked that I did it with a time of 1 hour 47 minutes. Man, I'm happy. But yeah, on to the next goal for now. Thank you so much for watching. This is Tsepo signing out. Until the next video, I'm out.